ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया यस्फुलिङ्गमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टां स्थापितां येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकां। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनन्दवितं तं सजीव Advaitam Sarvadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakamvita He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpana Darubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitana Vanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you so much for the opportunity. The auspicious prayers, Gacharan. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Rasa Sundari, Devidasi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and also on behalf of everyone who has joined the group and who will join later in this discussion. It is always a big honor, and I can say we have so much grace to have the presence, giving us association on this Monday evenings as we to set our week rolling intention service in Bhakti Yoga towards the Supreme Personality of the Lord. We are so grateful for you. Thank you so much. Today we are scheduled to do Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are on Canto 3, Chapter 15, the description of the Kingdom of God. And today we are doing verse 6 and 7. So over to you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I think I am a bit late. Forgive me for that. You've already done the Mangalcharan. So we'll go straight to the verse. Prabhu, you can share the screen so that they can see the verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Status Quo, Chapter 15 or 14, Chapter 14. And this is text 6 and 7. So text 6 does not have a purport, and text 7 has the purport. So I am going to do both the Sanskrits of text 6 and 7, and then one of you dear devotees can do the translations and the purport. I hope that's understood. Okay. So text 6. Yetvananyena bhavena bhavayantyatma bhavanam atmani prota bhuvanam param sarasadatmakam. And text 7. Tesham supakvayoganam jitasvasendriyatmanam rabdayusmat prasadanam nakutaschit prabhavaha. So one of the devotees can volunteer to do the translations of both 6 and 7 and the purport.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Okay. Translation by His Divine A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Lord, all these planets exist within yourself, and all the living entities are generated from you. Therefore, you are the cause of this universe, and anyone who meditates upon you without deviation attains devotional service. Text 7 Translation There is no defeat in this material world for persons who control the mind and senses by controlling the breathing process, and who are therefore experienced, mature, and mystic. This is because by such perfection in yoga they have attained your mercy. Purport The purpose of yogic performances is explained here. It is said that an experienced mystic attains full control of senses and the mind by controlling the breathing process. Therefore, controlling the breathing process is not the ultimate aim of yoga. The real purpose of yogic performance is to control the mind and the senses. Anyone who has such control is to be understood to be an experienced, mature mystic yogi. It is indicated herein that a yogi who has control over the mind and senses has the actual benediction of the Lord, and he has no fear. In other words, one cannot attain the mercy and benediction of Supreme Lord until one is able to control the mind and the senses. This is actually possible when one fully engages in Krishna consciousness. A person whose senses and mind are always engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord has no possibility of engaging in the material activities. The devotees of the Lord are not defeated anywhere in the universe. It is stated, Narayana Paraha Sarve. One who is Narayana Para or a devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead is not afraid anywhere, whether he is sent to hell or promoted to heaven. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for nicely reading the translations and purport. So before we begin, dear devotees, please allow me to first of all offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my supremely merciful spiritual master, and to his spiritual master, and to Srila Prabhupada, and all the acharyas in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and I beg their mercy that I can be a useful instrument in their service. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto all of you, assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and pray that whatever we discuss today in our Srimad Bhagavatam class, it's going to help us progress in our devotional service and purify us. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Madheka bandhu matsangin madguru manmahadana manishtara kamadbhagya madanandana asadu sadutarayan atine chachatakara anamun chakara chinmam prem narit kantaya suram. Hare Krishna. So we are at this section of the Srimad Bhagavatam whereby we are hearing the prayers of the demigods. I'm just providing a context of where we are. Because if you listen to these prayers or today's verse 6 and 7, without understanding the context, they might actually seem like very beautiful prayers to Krishna. But these prayers are not directed to Krishna. They are being directed to Brahma by the demigods. Why are the demigods praying to Brahmaji? They are praying to Brahmaji because Diti, who had become pregnant at the wrong time with two demons, She kept the pregnancy for 100 years. 100 celestial years, we might begin to wonder. 100 years, how is that possible? Oh, these people must like mythology very much. But we should understand that this is happening in the heavenly planets. It is not happening here. And here, where we are in the realm of the material world, the time frame here and the time in the heavenly planets, it's not the same. Because as you go higher into the cosmology, the time dilates, it becomes less and less. Therefore, one day in the heavenly planets is only 6 months here. So here it's such a long time, while in the heavenly planets, one day it's just one day, 12 hours finished. While the 12 hours of the demigods are our 6 months here. So it's a different time phrase. And if one does not understand this very clearly, they are going to think, oh, these are the Krishna devotees. Nothing makes sense, and they have so much faith in all this. Just like, being a child. So that is what is happening. She was pregnant for 100 years. And because she was cursed to give birth to demons, they were radiating such negative energy that the sun and moon had lost their ability to provide illumination to the world. So it was becoming dark and dark and dark. You can see, like now in Nairobi, it is very cold. And some days there is so much fog. The weather is gray and almost dark and looks depression. So you can imagine when there is no sun, when there is no moon, there is no light, how much distress that is. I have been told by many devotees that because the UK weather is so gloomy most of the time, so many people suffer depression. The demigods, they may have powers, but they are also living entities like you and me. So therefore, they were expressing so many distress, 100 years of darkness. So they approached Brahma because Brahmaji, he is a creator, is a secondary creator, and they are offering prayers to him. This is the culture of the demigods. They don't go straight. Here in Kenya, what happens when electricity goes out? Even for 2 hours. Nowadays, as people are so attached to their screens and their phones and everything that is consuming electricity, cannot do without electricity. So immediately electricity goes out, everyone will be dialing on Kenya to the nearest power station. What is happening to the electrical line? Can you fix it up? Kenya Power to fix it up. But this is not how the demigods approach it. Whenever they have an issue, they go to Brahmaji. And in a very polite and nice way, they approach him so that he can try and solve their situation. This is presentation. Everything is a presentation. If you want something to be done nicely, ask in a nice way, loving, kind way, humble. But if you ask arrogantly, oh, they may not be, even in normal conditions, no one will feel like doing it. Your situation will not be solved. So demigods are teaching us here presentation. Whether it's a problem you have, present it in a kind, nice way. And how are they doing it? They are applying ghee on Brahma. They are praising him. Oh, you are Deva Deva. Among the demigods, you are the greatest. And today, what are they telling him? Today, they are telling him in text 6 that, oh Lord, of all these planets that exist, all these planets, they exist within yourself. All the living entities, they are generated from you. It is true. Because Brahma is the secondary creator. He is not the primary creator. There are two types of creations according to Srimad Bhagavatam and according to the Vedas. There is primary creation, sarga, and there is secondary creation, visarga. The primary creation, it is done by the Supreme Lord Himself, Vishnu or Krishna Himself. He provides the ingredients for creation. We saw that in the early chapters of the third canto. He provides the ingredients. And then Brahmaji is given those ingredients, those elements, and then he is told you create living entities. You now do the secondary creation. So all living entities, they generate from him. Not in the sense of the soul. Brahma cannot create the jivas, but he provides the bodies. The body that you have, it has come from Brahma. And look at Brahma's intelligence. Within your body, even forget between two different bodies. Within your body, your fingers, they have these marks that are called fingerprints, that nowadays are identifications, phone identifications, government identifications, and none is like another's. My fingerprints for the thumb is not the same as the fingerprint for the pinky finger or any other finger. And it will not be even identical with another person's bodies. So Brahma created uniquely. So he is very intelligent. He's such a mastermind. He did his service very nicely. And the demigods are praising him. Now you have created us so uniquely. You have put so much effort into the details of your creation. And now here we are perishing because of darkness. Each and every glorification they are giving to Brahma, it has, a connotation behind it. And therefore they are telling him, you are the cause of this universe because you are the secondary creator. And now should it perish? Should all these living entities, should they perish because of these two demons who are causing so much darkness? And then they go on to tell him, anyone who meditates on you without deviation attains devotional service. Now someone may say, then there is no need to worship Krishna. We can worship Brahmaji. He will give devotional service. But there is a very hidden message here, that one who meditates upon you without deviation attains devotional service. It does not mean that Brahma will give bhakti. But Brahma can direct you because he is a demigod. Only Krishna and his devotees can give bhakti. And Brahma, being a devotee of Krishna, he will direct you. And we have seen this in different scenarios. If you have read the Krishna book, and in the beginning it is explained how Krishna appeared. That before he appeared, Mother Earth, Bhudevi, she was in so much distress. Because in a similar situation like the demigods are in now, there were so many demoniac kings who are ruling the earth. So many bad activities were going on the earthly planet. And Bhudevi, the personality of the earth planet, was so exhausted, so tired. She was in so much distress. So she approached Brahmaji. And when she went to Brahmaji, what did Brahma do? Anyone knows? I want to engage the devotees here. Does anyone know what Brahma did when Bhudevi approached him?
Hare Krishna, he
Hare
took
Krishna.
Bhudevi to Lord Vishnu.
Yes. So this is what Brahma does. When they go to him, then he takes them to Lord Vishnu, who will then come to the earth. And when he comes to the earth, obviously devotional service will be there. Another example, but that will be a continuation of this. Thank you so much, Indreka Mataji. It will be a continuation of this chapter. we will see Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, but especially Hiranyakashipu, who will be one of the demons born from the pregnancy of Diti. He worshipped Brahma by doing severe austerities, wanting to become immortal from Brahmaji, with one pointed attention, like the demigods are saying here. He will meditate on Brahmaji and Brahmaji will come. And Brahmaji cannot give him the benediction to be immortal. So he gives him benediction in such a way that the Supreme Lord will come himself. And when he will fight with the Supreme Lord, then he will be killed and attain liberation. And his path to devotional service of Hiranyakashipu will begin there. Because then in the next birth, what will happen? Hiranyakashipu will take birth as Ravan. He will be killed by Lord Ramachandra. And then from there, he will take birth as Shishupal. He will be killed by Krishna himself. And from there, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he will come as one of the brothers, Jagai and Madai. And there, he will become such a devotee, chanting Hare Krishna. Although initially, if you read the story, it begins with an offense of Jagai and Madai. I don't want to go so much into that because we still have text 7. Yeah. So he will, from Brahma has arranged for him by cheating him that he has given him, by him thinking that Brahma has given him immortality. Then all the way he'll become a perfect devotee, though it will take several lifetimes. So we are going to see in the next verse now, verse 7, that if you really want to attain devotional service, don't go to the demigods. Go straight to Krishna. The demigods, it will take so long. They can give, but it will be such a long process. Just go straight to Krishna or to his pure devotees. Now, let's see what the demigods are saying to Brahma in text 7. They are saying, this is a very important verse, that one who controls the mind and the senses by doing the yogic process of controlling the breath, then for them there is no defeat. And they become experienced mature mystics. And this is because such perfection in yoga, they can attain it by the mercy of Brahmaji. So now this is about yoga and the breathing process. In chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes it at length to Arjuna. Controlling the mind and controlling the senses. Our breath, or the breathing process, or the respiratory system in the body, is a very important aspect. A very important aspect in the human body. Immediately a child is born, what do? They begin crying. I don't know if that's how they cry, but they produce a funny sound. And they cannot produce that sound if their airways, their breathing airways, their lungways are not open. So for those children who don't cry, doctors here, Kirtida Mataji and Murari Gopal Prabhu, you can confirm with me, they are put upside down and they are slapped. Right here, or you meet a nurse with a grudge or who's so tired they do it a bit heavily. Why is that done? That is done because by that upturning, then it helps the airways to open up. Then the child can cry. Life has started. In this lifetime, their life has started. So this, it begins by the airways. Actually, not by crying, by opening of the airways. And when that happens, then they are able to produce the crying sound. That's the beginning of life. Of course, every system of the body is important for the body to function. But the breathing system is a very core system. It's a very core system in the body. I'm not a doctor, Those who are doctors here can tell you better than me. But if you can control your breathing very nicely in yoga, then you can be able to control your mind and be able to control your senses. See, the senses of a child begin by the opening of the airways. And therefore, those who practice yoga, they are taught to control the breathing system, Anulom, Vilom, then there is Kumbhaka, Rechaka, retaining the air and, putting it out, and so many things. And if you do this, then you can be able to control the mind and control the senses. But this is a system that used to work perfectly in other yogas. In Kali Yuga, it is not possible. Because in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult for people to control anything. For people to quietly sit down, just sit down and do nothing. No, we are too stimulated. People nowadays are constantly on their phones. Very difficult for people to just sit and even think about their lives. It is a symptom of Kali Yuga. It is a symptom of Kali Yuga. Therefore, controlling the breath and will not help you control mind and control the senses. Another thing, in Kali Yuga, we have so many so-called gurus, teachers, who teach these breathing exercises and yoga, but they are cheaters. They are actually not teachers, they are cheaters. Because they do not tell you that the original goal of yoga is to attain devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't tell people that this is a process of controlling mind and senses. And if you want to know, just go to where they are advertising yoga. You will just look at the advert itself. Most of them will have the picture of a woman there. Well, for what? To tantalize the mind already. Yoga has to begin with the yam niyam, rules and regulations. For yoga to become perfect brahmacharya or celibacy is one of the main principles. So actually the people of Kali Yuga, they cannot attain perfection in anything by the path of yoga. So what happens is that they get side benefits by the breathing processes and asanas, these positions they go to, they sit in and doing various gymnastics, yogic gymnastics. This gives them the side benefits of yoga, that your body is healthy, you get some peace of mind, because that is also temporary. The benefit you get from this. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is telling us in the purport that a person whose senses and mind are always engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, he has no possibility of engaging in material activities. So the only way you can control the mind and senses is by engaging in transcendental service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what does that mean? That means to perform devotional service. Because the mind is so difficult to control. Arjuna, when Krishna told him that an uncontrolled mind, and of course you have an uncontrolled mind, you have uncontrolled senses, is an enemy, is your enemy. But if your mind is controlled, then that mind is a friend. And Krishna told Arjuna, how do I control the mind? And because the mind is so difficult, Chancharam Himana Krishna, Pramati Balavadridam, Tasyaham Nigraham Mani Vayo Riva Sudushkaram. So he said, to control the mind, it's more difficult than to control the wind. Who can control the wind? You need to be Vayu, the demigod in charge of the wind, to control the wind. But if you are not, impossible. So Arjuna says now controlling the mind is even more difficult than controlling the wind. So then Krishna tells him this can be done through devotional service. So how is that? That means you become a Narayana Para. You become one who is fully invested in the service of the Lord. And how to do that? Don't look for Krishna. Don't go all the way to the Himalayas. You can go, but you may not see the Supreme Lord there. Huh? Krishna says, I do not live in the temples. I do not live in the heavenly planets. In Vaikuntha also you may not find me, because I live in the hearts of my devotees. So if you want to perform devotional service, look for those who are devotees of the Lord. And when you see them, then, and you take association of them, then they will give you these qualities. It is said just by remembering a devotee, remembering a pure devotee, their good qualities come to you. By associating with them, all perfection is attained. Rava Matra Sarva Rava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Sarva Siddhi Hoy. All perfection can be attained by Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the one who performs devotional service to a pure devotee of the Lord, then what happens to them is that they do the greatest service. Shushusho Shraddha Danasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevanant. What's the greatest service you can do? Associate with a devotee, serve a pure devotee. And when you serve a pure devotee, what will happen? Then you will gain the affinity to hear the messages of the Supreme Lord. You will hear about Him, you will get to know Him, then you will know how to perform devotional service. Otherwise, if you look for the Lord, or without knowing what He's like, what He likes, what service you are supposed to do, what will you do when you get there? So therefore, we should go to the devotees. And when we go to the devotees, then we will gain the affinity for hearing about the Supreme Lord. And we will get attracted to that Lord. Then the Lord will become attracted to us also. And by that, we will be able to control the mind and the senses. And what type of a devotee you should go to? Mahat. You should go to a Mahatma, a devotee who is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, who is Narayana Para. In fact, Srimad Bhagavatam says that this service, it should be done to a devotee who is completely free of all vice, who has full control of mind and senses, and who practices devotional service purely. If you do this, then you will be able to control your mind, you'll be able to control your senses, and you will get the affinity for hearing about the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord will become manifest in your heart by hearing from such a devotee. Because sometimes it happens that people go to so-called cheetahs. Like I was saying today, we have so many yoga cheetahs. Not yoga teachers, yoga cheetahs. Similarly, on the process of devotional service or religion, or in the process of searching for the Lord, you may come across a cheetah also. Because one of the conditioning of living entities in this material world is that they have 4 defects, and one of them is a propensity to cheat. So, and this you will find everywhere in the world, in family life, in the society, in the government, so many in the government, also in the spiritual movements and spiritual organization, you will find cheaters there also. People who have not controlled their minds, they have not controlled their senses, but they are claiming we are sadhu. And These people, they mislead the devotees and they cause so many problems. Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he gives the example of one cat. You know a cat, meow. Hmm? He gives the example of one cat who became a devotee. This cat was struggling very much. You know, cats, they eat rats. He was struggling very much to find rats. And life was difficult. So he had some people chanting Hare Krishna. He said, no problem. Let me join them. And then he decided, very nice, I'll become a devotee. And very quickly he decided I'll become a sannyasi also. So the Guru said, no problem, we will give you sannyas. And he took sannyas. So in my mother tongue, a cat is called Kanyau. So we are going to give the sannyas name of this cat, Bhakti Kanyau Swami. So the cat became Bhakti Kanyau Swami with a saffron dress, danda, bead bag, chanting very nicely, doing all the services very nicely. When all the rats heard that the cat that was troubling them, that they had to hide, and it was so difficult for him to find them, had become a devotee, they decided, oh, he has become a devotee, we should go and see. So we are not in danger anymore, we don't have to hide now. We can actually go and take shelter of him. Because now he has become a devotee, we have heard that he has also taken sannyas. So they went to take darshan of Bhakti Kanyau Swami. And they saw, oh, Bhakti Kanyau Swami is there with his danda and saffron dress and he's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra so nicely. They paid obeisances. But what was in the mind of Kanyau Swami? Kanyau Swami was thinking, oh, it was so difficult to find all these rats. Now I have become a devotee, I have taken sannyas. I don't have to go looking for them. They themselves are coming to me. Life is so easy now. And some rats started disappearing. So it was being asked, where are the rat devotees going? And Bhakti Kanyau Swami was saying, I am liberating them. I'm taking them back home, back to Godhead. Anyway, this story is to tell you, be careful. You should look carefully. And one of the things you should see carefully is see how controlled of in sense in terms of mind and senses the devotee is before you can take shelter of them. Yes, it's not good to judge devotees, but at the same time, you should be very careful, otherwise you will be cheated. There are so many Bhakti Kanyau Swamis in our Gaudiya Vaishnava transition. In the Christian religion, in the Muslim religion, in the Buddhist religion, there are so many such monks and priests and imams. So many Bhakti Kanyau Swamis are roaming around the world looking for that devotee or that personality who is not so mature in trying to find out the reality, and they will get cheated by them. So Bhagavatam is telling you, serve that devotee who is free from vice. And that's why Sanatan Goswami says, before you take shelter of someone, you should take 1 year, at least 1 year, examine that personality. Do an examination of his character. Otherwise, the shlokas, like I am saying, anyone can learn them and recite them. Bhakti Kanyau Swami was also chanting Hare Krishna very nicely. Anyone can do this. But the change of heart, change of habits don't try. Habits don't try. Okay, I see time is going. Otherwise, there are so many such stories. Another day, I'll tell you a story of a blue jackal. You remind me. We will not tell you that story today. So you should be careful. And because when you serve these cheaters, then you become a cheater yourself, or you become so cheated and many become cheated of devotional service like this, and they never again want to engage in religious activities. So we should go to those who are authentic. How do you know that they are authentic? Bhagavatam is telling you shush rather than asya. They will impart with you the affinity to hear the messages of the Lord. What does this mean? This means that when you hear about Krishna, you will get so attracted to him that the glitter of the material world will begin to fade. When you hear iPhone and this, your mind will not go crazy anymore. But when you hear devotees are meeting here to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, you will become very attracted to go and hear. When you hear about the Supreme Lord, having met an authentic devotee who has imparted within you the affinity to hear about the Supreme Lord, then you will become so attracted like Rukmini. When Rukmini heard about Krishna from Narad Muni, what did she do? She made it her mission to become the wife of Krishna. And she underwent so much to make it happen, including writing a letter to Krishna so that she could not get married to Shishupal. So if you hear about Krishna and you really get attracted to him, you are going to make plans to become detached from all those negative activities which are pulling you down materially. And you are going to find ways to be with the devotees and to serve devotees and to serve Krishna. When Srila Prabhupada, what happened when Srila Prabhupada had the instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Go, you are educated men, go preach to the West. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was not telling this only to Prabhupada. He was telling this to so many of his disciples, but who had? Srila Prabhupada had. And look at the result of following that instruction. The whole world today is Krishna conscious. Here we are meeting so many Gayatri Mataji from Canada, others from different parts of Kenya and from different parts of the world. We are meeting in one platform to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Where would we have met before? Would we even know each other? Probably not. But we are meeting in the name of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was distributed around the world by Srila Prabhupada, who had the holy name. Some people hear. Yes, they hear, but there are those who really hear. So if you serve a pure devotee, then he imparts within you the power to really hear and really follow. The purity of the devotee matters. The more pure, then the more the effect of hearing and the more the effect of following will be. Therefore, we should seek such association. We should seek such association. Why is that? Because those devotees who are really pure, they are Narayan Para. What is Narayan Para? As Prabhupada is saying in the purport, there is a verse in chapter 17 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, which says, Narayan Para Sarve Nakatasya Nabhibyati Sarva Pagasya Narakan Api Turyartha Darshina. That those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, for them, being in the heavenly planets, being in the hellish planets, it's all the same. And for them, there is no fear in their life. And what is their mission? Their mission is only to be interested in the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Fearless. Everyone around the world, fear or rather defense. Why are there defense systems in government? Why do you lock your house at night? Because we have some fear in us. Now, this does not mean that when you become a pure devotee, you'll not lock your house. We also rock the temple and we have gates at the temple and all these things. But this is the fear of the material world. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna that on this path of devotional service, even if you have done this much devotional service, there is no loss, there is no diminution. Even this little much service to Krishna, it can save you from the greatest fear. That is the power of devotional service. And when you become fearless, then you have controlled your mind, you have controlled your senses, and you do not worry whether you are in heaven, whether you are in hell, wherever you are, you do not worry. Because in this world, everything is fearful. The whole material world is full of fearful situations. If you look at small children, they do not even know what is fear. They do not know what is danger. But if you are holding a child and about to drop them, you will see them tighten their muscles. Because the defense system is already there in the material body. But this can be rectified. This situation of being fearful, it can only be rectified by devotional service. And devotional service means you take shelter of the pure devotees, not cheetah devotees, not Bhakti Kanyau Swamis. Take shelter of the pure devotees of the Lord who have controlled these senses. And if you favorably serve them and hear from them, then you will also become an Narayan Para. You will become interested in nothing else but in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I see we have 10 minutes left, and therefore I'm going to stop here and give the space to the devotees so that if they have any questions or comments or clarifications or corrections, you're very welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you again for this such profound and practical classes. We always look forward to them and really emphasizing on the importance of taking shelter in our pure devotee and not Bhakti Kanya Swami. It's pretty much unfortunate for most of the souls right now. They are so rampant. Though sometimes I see some devotees have a past of taking shelter in those yogic practices that are impersonal, mayavadi, and then they grow slowly into bhakti yoga. Maybe by the grace of the Lord, they are here with us. They did not get eaten up by them. Otherwise, thank you so much. And I don't have a question. I would like to open up to anyone with a comment or a question. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you
Hare
so much
Krishna.
for a nice explanation on what is it? Bhakti Kannau Swami. Very nice story. And very true also. You got a practical experience. It is said in the Shastra that whenever a guru accepts a disciple, the guru takes at least 2 years to know the disciple. Similarly, the disciple also should take that much of time to know about the guru. And how do we know that the guru is bona fide? Because the guru will hear from other disciples. He doesn't accept anyone out of blue. He accepts on recommendation, right? Similarly, the practitioner who wants to have a guru, he has to have a mentor. He has to be in a group and he has to be recommended. So he can investigate on the guru. As you said, there are lots of gurus out there, right? So it's the duty of the aspiring devotee to make sure that he or she is going to the right person. He has to, in India, there's a saying. The saying comes, I'm not Indian, I don't know so much, but they said, you have to strain the water before you drink. Pani chan ke peete hai, guru. The same as you strain the water before you drink so that you get the pure, you leave the impurities outside. The same, you have to look into a guru before approaching a guru. And you have explained it so nicely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. I really enjoyed your class. I'm sorry I joined in late. Usually I don't join during the weekdays because I have other commitments. But today I was a bit free, so I said, okay, let me hear you talking because I love hearing your talks. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Indreka Mataji, for that nice explanation. Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Rasa, Sundari Mataji, beautiful class as usual, and Induleka Mataji also said the points which I was also thinking, and as you said, sorry, yeah, very wonderful class, Mataji. Sorry, my throat is gone. Sorry.
Sorry. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Gayatri Mataji.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your kind comments. And I think if there's any other question or comment, I would like to kindly request Great Sundari Mataji to maybe she might be a little bit preoccupied. I think she's be a little bit preoccupied. Otherwise, thank you so much, Mataji. He's always looking forward to your classes. Just you told us next time we remind you about the story of like that did not hear it well.
Yes.
Next, you told us to remind you about the story of the
blue hyena.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Next week. So I'd like to kindly request all the assembled devotees to kindly unmute. We chant one round of the Maha Mantra in glorification of our grace, Rasa Sundari Devi Mataji, for today's beautiful session.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Nandakoti Vaishnavin ki jai, Grantaraj Mad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Guru Maharaj ki jai, Her Grace Rasa Sundari Mataji ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.